If you look at the internet overall, not just NFTs, every single internet company, every single financial company on the internet, anyone, and you get all the attacks, between 70 and 90% of those attacks have the first contact through social engineering and phishing. The second method that covers between 20 and 30% is exploitation of software bugs. The combination of the two, it could be, say, that is 99% of everything. So if you understand these two, you can say that you are safe in the space. There is no 100% anywhere, but that you can say that you are pretty safe. Okay, so we are talking about cyber criminals. Cyber criminals are drawn to do this because they have a very huge market capability. In 2021, this year, there is an estimate of $6 trillion revenue, let's say, from what they do overall for everything, so all the internet. And so social engineering and phishing are the preferred methods. We use Discord in our NFT world and to communicate with our friends, with projects, to even trade, to do deals, and so that is very, very sensitive. It's one of the most important elements that we need to understand how to use. Okay, if you look at Discord, Discord was born as a gaming chat. Okay, is not it was not born with security in mind. It wasn't configured with security in mind, and you can see that is playful. That are all these tools like Nitro that have this the goal just to engage and to make it fun. But sometimes it could be fun and it could also be secure, and that is what we want to make sure that you understand, and that you don't ruin your journey just because you didn't know how to do it. So let's talk maybe about two different areas. So there are two different areas of configuration and security that you need to understand. The first one important is if you are a moderator or administrator of a Discord server, or if you have your own Discord server, what are the most important things to do? And second, as a user. So let's split into these two parts. The first part, so moderator or admin. So if you have a power role, let's say, into your Discord server, or you are part of a Discord server where the owners have these roles, what is the most important thing that could have been a lifesaver for all the clubs that have been scammed in the last couple of weeks? First of all, they had moderators with admin rights, and the moderators had the power to publish announcements into the announcement board. Okay, usually this is restricted to only people that know what they are doing, that they have some basic security training, because it's very easy to scam someone that doesn't have this training through a simple DM message. Okay, and this is very, very important. So if you own a club or you are owner of a Discord server, make sure that you know, if you are the admin, how phishing works. If you don't know, just go to this type of training that we do, like you're doing now. But this is essential. So if you have a big Discord and you have some moderators, the moderator shouldn't have access to the announcement board, because that is the point where everyone is looking at. And if something goes wrong in that announcement board and there is a wrong link, everyone is going to mint maybe on that link. So this is the first suggestion. Have few admin. those admins should have some basic security training, better if advanced. And for everyone, all the moderators, second point, ensure that they have their phone verification method for authentication. So they need to come on Discord just if they have a phone number verified, and they need to have a double factor of authentication. If the 3 cases that I've been studying in the last couple of weeks, if they had a double factor of authentication alone, that would have been enough. Because how it works, I try to explain to you how this phishing works. It's very, very simple to do. And there are few variations that could happen that I've seen in the corporate world in the past, so I can explain very well how it works, okay? Compared to emails and the classic, let's say, communication tools. You know that your account on Discord, what you see of the account is not your unique identifier. That is just a nickname. And so you can choose whatever nickname you want, and you can choose the nickname of another person without any problem. And if you pay for Nitro, you can even change the digit after the nickname. So that, for example, my nickname on Discord, Simone Art Online, hashtag 5286, for example, I can't remember it now, but let's say it's that. Someone can exactly take the same nickname and same digit if they pay for Discord. They change the avatar, they change the background, and they get exactly the same looking account that I have. And so they come to you, making sure that maybe they are friends with you before, so they are already in your friends list, and you think that I'm talking to you. Reality is a scammer that is talking to you. So this is very, very important. How you recognize that? Very simple. If you have a server in common with this person and it looks like your friend, but it looks odd that your friend is asking you for those things, or simply just you need to download something every time you need to download something from that person, or is asking for you to transfer money, just double check that you and your friend usually share a server, that on that server there is only one account with that name. Double check the account that is contacting you now to download the file or to send them money. Double check which server you have in common, and see on that server if that is exactly what your friend does. So there are a few things that you can double check. One very, very easy thing is check the history of your chat with that friend. If it's someone that you usually talk to, there is a history, and you can just go back one day and see, or whatever, and it's very simple to recognize. Then, before downloading anything, double check the link. Okay, link. It takes 2 seconds to see if a link is real or not, and there is a simple method that you can use even if you don't know what is the official link. You can take the domain. So the first part of the link, for example, I give you an example because it's easier. Someone is saying, I'm trading this NFT at a lower than floor price on OpenSea, and there is a link to that NFT. Okay. That link is not OpenSea.io. It doesn't start with OpenSea.io. It starts with OpenSea.com. The official website is .io, but that is .com. How can you recognize that .com is not the official link? Very simple. You take that domain, you go to the online global public database of domains. The name is whois.domaintools.org. Use that, type the domain, and you will see that maybe OpenSea.com has been both one day before you received that link from Russia. Okay, you know that is not the original one because OpenSea has been founded in 2017, so is more than 1 day old and is from US and not from Russia. So why this is important? Because all scammers, let's say 99% of the scammers, they use domain for just a few days because they get caught and they have to change domain. So if you see a domain that is till 15 days old, that is probably a scam, okay? And unless you have a very new project, but then you have other methods to recognize the domain, okay? And then use your, as a quick also checker, use your bookmarks on your browser. So put all the important domains that you always use on your browser as a bookmark. So domain is very simple the link is very simple to double check. I personally don't suggest anyone to say don't click on any link. That is impossible. And so people, when they see a link and they say, oh, but this is an exception. No, it's not an exception. You should just verify the link and then you can click or not. If you are in doubt, okay, you don't click. But if you verify and you see that is OpenSea.io and that is the official one, why not? So you can, okay? And the other thing that you need to make sure to do is to verify also what is sent to you. So files. One of the scams that happened recently was a file sent with, they were saying, oh, I have an archive containing all the new emoticon for Discord, emoji for Discord. You download this, you install it, and you are going to be fine. But that archive was containing a virus, a very well-known virus that simply steals all your password from your browser. You know that when you save the password on the browser is safe somewhere? Okay. Was doing that and was sending that. There are different methods to send it out. They could use webhook on Discord. They could use a simple backdoor. That is the simplest way possible. So in that case, you install that file. You didn't see anything maybe on your laptop. It could be a Mac, it could be a Windows. Don't be quick to conclusion that if you have a Mac, you don't get scammed. You get scammed as well. So you install that, you get all your password stolen. At that point, if your Discord password is among those, and you don't have a double factor of authentication, and you are an admin, you gave your Discord to the scammer. This is very simple. Even simpler, about the first case we discussed, so link to Nitro, for example. This has been very common in the last couple of months, and I have a tweet that explains how it works exactly. So you get a DM or you get a Twitter DM from one of your friends. This time is a real friend. It's a real friend that has been scammed as well. So they sent you this DM saying, I got this Nitro subscription free for a month, and I want you to have it, okay? But if you look at the link, instead of being discord.com, the official website is discord with an L.co.uk. If you look at the domain has been both 1 week before you receive that link, okay? And if you click on the link, it looks like Discord. It's exactly the same, so you don't see the problem. And it's saying to you, okay, to get your Nitro subscription, put your credential, username and password, and you are done. You put your username and password, but you are on a fake server, on a fake website. That website has a name. Typically, in the cybersecurity world, is a phishing website. And behind that page, there is a program that is recording everything that you write. That type of program is called Keylogger. So it's a phishing website with a keylogger installed. So you type your username, you type your password, even if you don't click enter, is lost. Because on the other side, the hacker is looking at your credentials, is logging in as you, maybe on your Discord server. And if you are a moderator and you have access to the board, it will first, it will change your password, so you're out. Second, it will change the board and will put another phishing website that is maybe linked to a similar website of your project, but with a fake account, so that it will store all the money from your users. And that is what happens usually. This type of phishing is very simple to do, and consider that the criminals that we are talking about, some are very young, are very into gaming, and these type of problems are not new. Have been there for many months, or the typical virus that we see in the last couple of months here has been around for 1.5 years or 2 years or more. And the variation of the old one have been around for 10 or more years. So this is nothing new, nothing difficult to see, very, very, very easy to understand, and to just with a little bit of attention, it takes few seconds just to recognize the problem. And so anyone can be safe. And this is about the clubs, okay? But there are a few other configurations that can be done. I mentioned before, if you have your own Discord, one thing that can be very helpful is to enable that all the users that will join the Discord need to have a verified phone number. Why is that? If you were here 3 months ago, you saw a very huge amount of people scammed on the Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord. And that was done because on Larva's Lab Discord, there was no security enabled with verification. And the criminals went on Larva's Lab Discord and they created thousands of accounts on there that were with the name Bored Ape Yacht Club Announcement. And they used that to then go to the Bored Ape Yacht Club users and DM them a fake link for a giveaway. In that way, they stole a lot of apes and Ethereum. So you don't want to be a vector of this type of behavior. If you own your own, for all the users that will log in, is the highest level of security to be safe and to make sure that your space is safe and that the bots are not able to create accounts like that. And this is very important. If instead you are a user, what can you do? Okay, very simple, very, very quick to do. Anyone can do it right now. You take all your important email. I think for the exchange, you already have done it. Okay, I hope so. But Twitter, anyone that you use to handle crypto and the NFTs, and you enable a double factor of authentication. Everything that we discussed till now, the phishing where someone is trying to steal your passwords, can be not a big problem if you have a double factor of authentication, because even if someone knows your Discord password or your email password, but to log in, they need to put a code, they will not be able to log in as you. And once you recognize that your password has been stolen, you simply change it and you are back to safety. That's the most important thing you can do right now. Second thing you can do on Discord is to configure your privacy and safety settings. And this is not for the scamming part; it's more for your mental health, let's say, to make sure that explicit consent media settings is on keep me safe, so that Discord will scan the images that you receive and it will remove anything that could be not nice to see. And if you are a woman, for example, that and you receive a lot of DM with things that you don't want to see, just simply put these settings on your Discord, and you will have a better life. And then last important, who can ask you to be friend? Is good to have friends of friends, not everyone. Limit it so that you limit just to friends of friends, and you don't get all the DMs from anyone that you don't know. I personally don't have this configured because I know how to recognize a scammer from my DMs, and I don't really need to be that strict. But if you are unsure, make sure that you can receive friends requests only from your friends. Also, you can limit who can DM you to just only friends, and this will make it even safer, and it will prevent anyone else to become your friends or to DM you, even if they are not. However, this is essential. Don't think that if you do this setup, you are 100% safe, because the scammer will follow you. If you let me give you a real life example without saying names. Okay, you are a big artist, or you are an artist, even if you are not big. You sold a few Ethereums of NFTs. You are a collector, and your collection is public, of course. Anyone can see it. Okay, so they know what you have. They follow you for a couple of days. They see who your friends are. They check you on Discord. They start talking to you with their original Discord name. They become your friends, so they are in your friends list. The day they want to scam you, they will change their avatar, their username, as we said before, to make sure that they are exactly the same as one other of your friends, because they know how you interact on Discord. At that point, they will try to trick you. So you are not always 100%. There is no way that you can be 100% secure. You need to make sure that all this basic information is there. If you have all the basics, it's very difficult then to scam you with other issues, other ways. Okay. And I don't know if Stephen, do you want
Yeah,
to add something? See you and Mike. Okay, perfect.
sure, sure. So with one big thing to keep in mind, there's a whole industry behind trying to get something for nothing is the best way that I can put it. There are people of all walks of life from all regions of the world trying their hardest to take money from people that are actual earners, if you will. So when you consider that, like Simona was saying in the most recent example of like being an artist that sells and has more or less celebrated themselves, and you should always feel fine with doing that, saying like I made a sale, that's awesome. Um, the downside is that this will effectively put a target in some way, shape, or form on you if the right or wrong person sees that, so to speak. Um, so it's always the most that we can do as individuals is give ourselves a buffer window, give ourselves more time to not have these issues. So like the two-factor authentication is a big deal for really everything that allows it. That should be a default for a consumer at this point, especially within this market. Again, you are your own CEO, your own bank. And when you consider that, let's say in US dollars, one Ethereum is already a lot of money in and of itself. Now, if you consider from a different country where the income level is much lower, you all of a sudden have a very lucrative item that somebody wants, regardless if it's the NFT itself or the currency behind it. So it's always one of those things to where being mindful of that is important. So I strongly, strongly recommend just taking the time, doing the due diligence when it comes to verifying links if they're sent your way. And I pinned that up at the top just from the conversation earlier with the whois.domaintools.com. That allows you to verify and see these items, like these websites, the OpenSea spoof websites, what have you. One of the things to keep in mind, like Simona was saying, the keylogger bit can be on every website. So if you ever think you're on an erroneous or odd website that's really stands out, something about it doesn't feel right, don't bother. Just close out of that web page entirely. There's no incentivized reason for you to be in that website if it's from a rogue DM in the first place. If you needed to go to OpenSea to find a collection, go to OpenSea.io, go to your bookmark of that page, things of that nature, and then navigate to the collection name. Realistically, you don't need a hyperlink for everything. As convenient as that may be, sometimes we need to strip back convenience in order to be more secure. It's just one of those food for thought items to where no matter what, even if we give you 10 different items to consider, as long as they're in your mind in some way, shape, or form, that's better than where we were prior because just knowing that these are vectors is important. One of the things I want to touch on real quick regarding these oddball websites that you might get sent, when it comes down to it, you might get if you go to a web page, one moment. If you go to a web page and it's giving you a prompt for your apologize, word just went away from it. If you're going to your MetaMask and it's prompting you, asking you to put in your seed phrase, that should already stand out as a red flag. One of the things we've been seeing websites doing is running a script on their surface level of the website. So on load, it's running a script that's uninstalling and reinstalling your extension. The important part of that is it's now, if you're on a keylogged website, it is now looking for you to type in that seed phrase from the official MetaMask extension. So everything visually can be perfectly fine. However, the website is logging everything you're doing. So just things like that are really imperative to keep in mind. If it's not you that's forcing these interactions, question it. That's the biggest takeaway from everything is that you are driving your company, you are driving your bank. You don't want to take your bank into a back alley. You want to make sure you're going on a well-lit street or you know exactly where everything is. Because there's a lot of seedy places on the internet. There always have been. Depending on how long you've been around, you might have remembered when when like LimeWire and all that were popping up. Rogue software can definitely be a factor for you as well. So just keep all of these items in mind because there's a lot of relevance in the lessons we've learned on the internet since day one. It's just now we're seeing them in a hyperspeed within the NFT space. Um, and one story I just want to reference as well, real quick, when it comes down to the social engineering aspect of Discord. I interact with the Crypto Hodler team, and I have even prior to our security relationship that we're going and interacting with now. But I've talked with the team a bunch, and I have a general idea for like speaking habits of how they type. Just because when you're in a community and you're engaging in a community, you can see how a lot of people interact with one another. I've been approached by fake versions of the creators of Crypto Hodler and asking for Binance money and and stuff like that. And one of the big things I strongly recommend is if you add a friend or you add somebody to your friends list on Discord, write a quick message. It takes a moment of your time, and if you're taking that moment to even add them as a friend, you can take that moment to just write something simple because down the line you'll use that message history, like Simona was saying, as a reference point. You'll know at that point if, oh, I remember back on November, I don't even know what today is, the 3rd. Yeah, I remember on November 3rd, I told Simona, hey, what's up? Okay, that I know is the official Simona account. I also strongly recommend getting Discord Nitro and setting your number to whatever it is you feel comfortable with. Mine, for instance, if anybody wants to reach out to me, is Velcrafting #0001. I chose just the lowest number they would let me. I tried to have 4 zeros or a quad zero, but they wouldn't let me. So trip zero and a one is fine enough. But I guess my point being is make it something distinguishable and identifiable. This is part of your online identity at this point. Again, being that you're your own bank and your own company, identity is important. So being able to have somebody call upon you for whatever reason and knowing that that's actually you is imperative. I'm not saying you need to broadcast it everywhere, but it is something to where I try to make sure that, for instance, my handle is Velcrafting on Discord. It's Velcrafting, and yeah. So always keep those best practices in mind to where you are aware, and it's you're doing everything in your power to at least be proactively secure. There's always going to be somebody trying to get something for nothing, and just taking those little steps goes a long way to making it into the point where you're one step at a time to go through everything, you know. And so just take those steps, and you'll feel a lot more secure in how you operate within this ecosystem in general.
Thank you for the super great tips.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, crypto hodlers. Okay, perfect. So I think we have given a lot of information for one session, and there is much more that we can share with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, and we are going to do this in other sessions. So right now, if you have any quick question, because we already have used the 1 hour we had for this discussion, you can come up on stage very quickly. Or if you join the hodlers, the crypto hodlers Discord, and Stephen or crypto hodlers, can you pin it on top so people know where to go?
Yep.
We are there, so you can ask any question, anything you want in their Discord, and we are going to answer for anything you want. And I think he's already. Let's see. There was someone was trying to talk before, but I think they changed their mind. Perfect. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for the link. So anyone, if you okay, here he is.
And by all means, just again, while we're bringing up our next person, I do want to reiterate this space and everything we discussed today has been brought to you with the Crypto Hodlers group in mind. They have an initiative right now that I strongly recommend. Most clubs should at least try and consider how to enable the community members at large to help each other and help the ecosystem. So as part of a grant program, they offered the capability out there for anybody that is able to or has an idea to help better the ecosystem. I went ahead and applied for that for Simona and I, so that way we could try and make sure that we stay in this space funded, because security is one of those things that's very important, but it's also one of those things to where if somebody gets scammed, I never want to ask somebody for money. I never want to put that pressure on somebody. So having these awareness sessions and these meetings is really imperative. So I definitely think that when it comes down to it, just keep that in mind. If you're a club creator or a club manager, admin, what have you, consider grant programs and consider how you can help make the ecosystem better, because Crypto Hodlers is taking that initiative because they care not only about their individual hodlers, but they also care about the ecosystem at large. So this is a mutual benefit to all parties. So if at any point you have any questions, comments, concerns regarding security or the awareness thereof, that hodler Discord, I have it. I'm in there. I've been in there since launch day. Feel free to @me. Again, Velcrafting, #0001. I'm typically by my computer or nearby it pretty much any time. So DMs are also open on Twitter, but nonetheless, I just want to cement that concept that there's a lot we can all do. But that's it for me.
You can also DM me. Yes, you can also DM me as well. So we are both moderator on the Hodler Discord. So you can DM us if you have a question that could be of public interest. Just ask it publicly, because that could help also other people. If you have a detailed question about maybe something that you don't want to share and you shouldn't share, for example, for your wallet, just ask directly. And now I think we have emoji.
Yeah, thank you so
much.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Simon. I think this was a very good initiative that the Crypto Hodlers did. because I'm from the cybersecurity background. On this outside world, I'm a cybersecurity analyst. So I was so excited when I saw this popping up on my Twitter feed. I was like, wow, this is quite amazing. And I've been thinking a lot about this because I've been joining a lot of like crypto. There's a lot of crypto that are coming up because of the open source, and everything is available on the street out there. So you'd find that people can even do rug pull, and a lot of people are getting rug pull. So basically, what I was just thinking about maybe is creating a more of a framework in how we can as creators, as crypto collectors, as NFT collectors, how, or even NFT developers or creators, how can we make sure that we are well secure? Like you draft out a framework similar to ISO 27001, which has maybe access control and everything relating to Discord, relating to Twitter, relating to everything that people use to communicate and all that, which will help all the society understand how they can better their security from a point of every side of however maybe you are the investor or whatsoever, so we could understand, maybe just document it and make it available on the crypto handler Discord, just a small document where we could reference. That would be great. I believe so. Thank you so much.
Yes, that's perfect. Perfect comment. The ISO 27001 is the Bible of the industry, the commercial industry, since years, and that is what I've been using in the corporate world. And yes, I've already thought about adapting it for the NFT world, and definitely could be very, very beneficial for anyone. And thank you, because I think it's a very great comment, and we are working on it, and it's going to be ready soon.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things to where having protocol and procedure is absolutely paramount in the ecosystem at large. And one of the things that we're still running into is the constant adaptation of the marketplaces, the systems that we use. So there's a lot of moving pieces still compared to the Web 2/fiat world, where it's not necessarily static, but it is slower moving by a landslide. So there's a lot of content to consider on how to wrangle in. And I pinned it up at the top as well. Not that this is to the protocol standpoint, but just kind of harping back to what Simona mentioned at the top of the show here, is that there is at least a general document that she's made, a book that goes over like an intro to cybersecurity, as well for like NFT specifically, highlighting examples in that area. It is not by all means a full protocol approach, if you will, but it definitely gets the ball rolling in thinking consciously about security. And that, I do think, like you said, having something that is more like a standard operating protocol would be absolutely ideal. So by all means, a work in progress, if you will, but it all starts with the big thing that I think we're all still growing into, is decentralizing knowledge, taking these lessons that we learn and just typing it out. Web 2 is very defined because we have a lot of people on there and a lot of people writing, versus Web 3, we have a small amount of people and an even smaller amount of people writing out what they see and how they see it. So the more that we get people just talking in general, that means the more that we'll have people writing in general. So I do think that this is an ongoing, I don't want to call it a yo-yo, but it is an ongoing battle to decentralize knowledge the same way that we've decentralized finance. But that is absolutely a great point. Just working towards making a protocol is absolutely important for everybody as a collective.
Perfect. Thank you, Stephen. And we have our last question from Kedrick.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you for the presentation. So I have worked on and off in think tanks talking about civilization theory and security, and one of the topics that we talk about that is maybe a bigger question than this conversation can handle, but anytime we publish security guidance information, it produces an opportunity for a hacker to take advantage of that knowledge of security and move it to the next level and create another level hack. How do you guys track this process and manage this process? How fast is it moving? That sort of thing.
Yes, I love this question. I'm an ethical hacker. I've been doing cybersecurity for 16 years now, from the bottom to the director level for corporate companies. And one of the things that is the winning tool for every ethical hacker is everything that is discovered should be shared. Any guide, any information should be public. So in the cybersecurity world, let's say the concept of not having a centralized way of controlling the knowledge has been always there, because that is the winning tool that we have. If you work in cybersecurity and you discover a virus, for example, you discover a 0-day vulnerability on a piece of software, what you do, the first immediate things you do, you publish it. You go to the online tools that we have, all the databases, and you say, be careful, there is this around. And that is the way we win. So the answer is, if you publish information about what you know about cybersecurity, you are not enabling the criminals to go ahead. We are at the same level, and we are working one against the other. And what you have to win is just to publish that information, to make sure that it's there. They already know because in the dark web, everything that is discovered by these groups is completely shared, and they know exactly, and they sell it. They sell viruses, they sell everything in there. And it's not something that you say, but because I discovered this, if I tell them, no, it's not like that. They already know. And consider that the criminals we are talking about, they are like corporates in some countries. They have offices. They have millions of dollars in finance from their government. They have data centers. They have buildings. They have everything. And we are not talking about the 17 years old boy in the basement of his parents. We are talking about criminals that are going to come, still are not all here. They are going to come, and they know exactly what we are talking about here, much in deeper way than what we are saying here. So my idea, I've been doing this for many years, is winning if you share, not if you control the knowledge. So that's my answer. Yes.
Another thing that I personally use, and this is me preferring to take like the educator stance on things as well, is when I introduce new people to the ecosystem and usher in like this new level of understanding, being mindful of these pain points that they see, or these observation questions they ask, is just as imperative as if I'm observing it myself and see how it triggers to me. So, for instance, one of the things that stood out as a red flag long ago, I think in May, I want to say, was my first interaction with the Collabland bot. I immediately pivoted and said, this is going to be the biggest snowball of a potential problem that could happen. Lo and behold, several months later, it is becoming the signal calling card for quite a few of these breaches, or these issues that we're seeing. So I guess my point being is that, and I did this with competitive gaming in the same way, you can learn a lot from a newbie the same way you can from a seasoned professional. And it's all data is good data when it comes down to it. And you give that data to the experts that are looking into it, and they can kind of discern it another layer. But it all starts with the advocacy of saying, why is this way? Or, you know what I mean? So taking that philosophical approach of saying that is really imperative. But by taking the due diligence of introducing new people to the ecosystem, they might look at something and say, wow, you guys do this? That seems weird. And that should be the red flag in your head that says, yeah, wait, why do we do this? And you might have a good answer, but it's one of those things to where it probes the question, which leads to understanding. And your comment is absolutely spot on. I often fear of what's the next level up going to be? What are they going to level up with? And I wasn't very vocal saying I think Collabland is going to be the problem until probably June or July, about a month after I had looked at it and said, "Oh no, yeah, we autopilot. We trust this thing so religiously to where we just click. We don't read. We don't do anything. We just say command verify and then click, click, click." That's when the red flags really start popping up. I thought it was questionable at first, but then once you start seeing this mass adoption, that's when you get to the next level of saying, okay, if I'm seeing this on the ethical side of things, how would a bad actor look at this? And that's what really builds the whole image. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to look at things in that way of saying like, okay, well, how could this be abused? And there's a lot of moving pieces in this market just in that standalone. I just bought a project. Okay, how did I learn about that project? I went through Twitter. I went to their website. Their website has me do this, and you see what I mean? Like there's a snowball of little things that are happening to where you have probably 10 vulnerabilities within 1 mint. And you're like, okay, well, one of those was wrong. So I think that's a big part of understanding is saying, first, how do things operate already? And then where are those abuse points? And think of those as like elbows or ankles or like these weak vulnerabilities on the body. And so all of a sudden we're looking at it and we're like, well, wait, why aren't there limbs? Why is this all ankles? And then at that point you could say there's too many problems here. I should not do it that way. I guess for long story short, that's my bit of it is just I advocate for teaching others to help learn where these pain points might be.
That's great. I appreciate both those answers. I don't know if you have time for a follow-up, but I guess my inquiry would be, for example, Simona, I can't remember. Simona. The NFT pinned to the top, I'm imagining that document would need to be updated as you learn. And so for non-security professionals, is there like a subscription?
Not really. No, that has been true for since I've been in the space 15 years. In that book, I'm going to explain exactly how it works. What are the psychological triggers they use, explain why and how they use it, explain how to recognize in general any direct message you get. Then I give real life example. That part could be updated, of course. There could be a new version. But what is important in that book is the concept. What you need to learn is what you can use is universal, let's say, what you can use every day. Not just in NFTs, in everything you do online. How to understand the mind behind the criminal. Okay,
right.
The first part is about that, and that has always been like that. And we talk about all this evolution of social engineering attacks. I don't think there is a big evolution behind it. These people are using a script since ages. It's always like that. What it can change is the action they do to enable their attack, but you can always recognize it in the same way. It's a universal concept, and so I think that what I wrote is still right now nowadays it still includes everything that is relevant for NFTs. Even though I wrote it, that was July, August, and September. I updated the last day, of course, but I'm still, and I thought, okay, I think in a month I need to do some new updates. But really, what is there is still completely true. It's still there. It's still in our everyday life. And what I do, I give just more details. If someone buys my book, I just follow the person, whatever they need. And we do also training online. We do everything. update, to give more information,
Mhm.
and that's it. But definitely it's going to be interesting maybe in 6 months to give like an airdrop to everyone that bought the book with the latest updates. That
Mhm.
could be one chapter maybe about that. That is a good idea.
Yeah, my professional background is in dealing with narcissism and sociopathy, so that all makes a lot of sense. I like the
Perfect.
yeah,
Yes.
I like the idea of having some sort of like current affairs subscription. So I'm gonna keep an eye on
Yeah.
what you guys are up to because this has been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
And
for the
thank you,
question.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to hear and have these conversations in general. I know cybersecurity as a phrasing is not the most attractive and makes you want to jump on in, but it's one of those things to where when you're running a business and you are your own business in this case, it's imperative to at least take the time to do so. So the vectors may change, but the behaviors that lead to that bad behavior will more often than not stay relatively consistent. They have a tried and true method. It's gotten them literally trillions of dollars at this point, so they're following the logic as best we can see of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's really on our ownness to just make sure that they don't break in. So having the awareness conversations is extremely imperative, and genuinely, I appreciate you guys for the feedback and conversation, the input of questions. It really helps build the image to be a bit more cohesive for everybody. And again, I just want to take the moment to shout out Crypto Hodlers. Their Discord is pinned at the top. If you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, by all means, feel free to hop in there. They are a community that is advocating for their people in a very healthy way. And I think it's very imperative that we as a collective start really like honing that, not honing it in, but really like cementing the fact of your picture is not necessarily everything, and it's about what you do for the ecosystem that matters in waves, and it's very dramatic to what that can offer. So anything that supports the ecosystem, I definitely support. But I'm also in that Hodler Discord. Just feel free to at me.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Bellcrafting
Thank you.
and Simona, for hosting this lovely Twitter
Thank you,
Spaces.
Tina.
We really care about our community at Crypto Hodler. So, yeah, definitely, you guys have done a great job today. Thanks so much.
Thank you for let us doing it. So for anyone else that wants to follow us with these sessions, just keep an eye on the Discord. In the announcement, the crypto hodlers are going to announce every training that we do. And for today, I think we can close. And I just thanks everyone that is here, all the questions, and everyone that has been here since the beginning. Thank you so much. And for any question, please don't be afraid to DM me, and Velcrafting, and we will help you with anything you might have to ask. So thank you so much. And I think I'm going to end the space here. And